England have had to call 5 players up as reinforcements to join them on their training camp in Italy ahead of the Six Nations opener against Ireland. Steve Borthwick's plans have been hit by a bit of an injury crisis, and yet, and this is interesting when it comes to this, and I'll go through the players out and the players in, it doesn't feel as significant a blow for England as Sione Tuipulotu and Scott Cummings did for Scotland yesterday. And I guess that's down to the player pool that England have got. And also, and I'm going to throw a bit of a curveball thought in here, which I'd love to know your thoughts on in the comments. Could it actually be a blessing in disguise for England? I'll let you know what I think about that. But the 5 players that are out or have major concerns over their name for the Ireland match anyway, and yeah, I think that's one of the things to say, is these 5 players are not out of the whole tournament like Tuipulotu and Cummings. They are out of the Ireland game in the case of Jamie George, vice-captain for England. But don't worry about the vice-captain thing. Steve Borthwick will probably name 7 other vice-captains in the matchday squad. I'm hoping those multiple vice-captain days are gone. So Jamie George, Alex Coles, Alex Dombrandt. Not a good day to be called Alex if you're an England rugby player, is it? Because also Alex Mitchell is one of the players, and Jack Van Poortvliet. So 2 of England's scrum halves. Alex Mitchell, by the way, is the one player who is still with the squad. He's doing his rehabilitation in Italy with the England squad. So that leads me to believe that he may well still be very much available for the Ireland match. The other 4 are not. And how big of a deal is it for England? How significant is this? What does it change to the team that could be named against Ireland? I'll go through what I think the 23-man squad will be without these players. And let's get into it. Let me take you through position by position exactly what the injuries are. At hooker, Jamie George was the captain up until this tournament. Maro Itoje now has taken over in that role. But Jamie George, very much a key part of Steve Borthwick's matchday squad, would have been starting, has been playing very well. England's set piece has been really good, and I think their line-out is going to be absolutely crucial as a launch pad and to try and mess up the opposition. Jamie George has been really good there. Curtis Langdon, though, has been called up. Curtis Langdon, I mean, he's been knocking on the door for a while. Clearly, he is the next cab off the ranks. Been playing brilliantly for Northampton Saints. And if he gets a sniff, he will be desperate to take his opportunity. But they've got decent hookers there. But no question, that is a first 15 player who is out. The 3 that would be left for that Ireland game: Luke Cowan-Dickie, Theo Dan, Curtis Langdon. Second row, Alex Coles is out for the Ireland game at least. And Arthur Clarke from Gloucester is in. Now, this feels a little bit... Now, Arthur Clarke's been playing brilliantly in the Premiership. I don't know about you. This feels a little bit more like a kind of apprentice spot for Arthur Clarke. It's like, well, we probably weren't going to use Alex Coles anyway. And maybe Alex Coles' injury isn't that bad. So we'll get a youngster in and have a look at him. I think possibly that might be what's going on there, because there are other guys like Charlie Ewells. I don't know what the status of Nick Ezekwe is. Is he still had a knock and injured? Because you would have thought he would have come in instead. Anyway, there you go. Arthur Clarke's been having a great season, and he is one of the 4 locks. But I think the 3 that appear in the matchday squad are going to be the 3 that were already in the squad: George Martin, Maro Itoje, Ollie Chessum. As for the back row, Alex Dombrandt is out. And I did speculate when the squad was announced. I said I think Alex Dombrandt would have been out of the squad if Sam Underhill was fit. And I think the only reason he stayed in is because of Underhill's injury. And that appears to be backed up by the fact that the man that has been chosen to replace Alex Dombrandt, and number 8, is Henry Pollock, primarily an open side flanker, the same position that Sam Underhill plays. So again, I think with the number of and quality of players that England have got in the back row, I don't think Alex Dombrandt would have been starting. He may have been on the bench. I'll come to the team that I picked before and what I would do now. I don't think Henry Pollock is going to play against Ireland. I think this is what I mean. This could be a blessing in disguise, because Henry Pollock's already played England Day. I was expecting him to tour with England this summer while the British and Irish Lions tour is on. This could just get him around the camp and get him even speed up his development even more, and get the coaches a chance to have a look at him. But I don't think he's going to play against Ireland, because England are stacked in the back row. So Alex Dombrandt out, Henry Pollock in. Scrum half, this is where the significant issues are, because 2 out of England's 3 scrum halves are doubts, at least for Ireland, if not out completely. Jack Van Poortvliet looks like he's not available for the Ireland test match. Alex Mitchell is rehabbing with the squad, may or may not be fit. Ben Spencer comes back in, and Rafi Quirk comes back in as well. Now, I live in Manchester. My local club is Broughton Park, which is the same local club that Rafi Quirk played at when he was a youngster. Sometimes see him just in the little village, the little part of town that I live in. See him sometimes when I go for a coffee or whatever. So I'm very biased. I'm a big Rafi Quirk fan, but I declare my bias. That's the point. But he is looking sharp again. He dipped off a bit, but he's looking sharp. He looks bigger. He looks just as fast twitch, quick. And I'm really glad he's back in and around the England camp, even if it's only for a temporary period of time, because I expect him to be back in and to be a part of England's future. He's just got some elite gifts. And Ben Spencer, many people feel, should have been in the England squad anyway. So Alex Mitchell, though, that's the one player that really concerns me. Because how much did England miss Alex Mitchell? And I guess, actually, do you know what? Just to return to that point about could this be a blessing in disguise? England have got a massive player pool. Alex Mitchell is the example of players taking an opportunity. He wasn't in the World Cup squad. Steve Borthwick didn't pick him. Jack Van Poortvliet got injured, just like Jack Van Poortvliet is injured right now. He's had rotten luck. Alex Mitchell came back into the squad and went from being outside of the squad, fourth choice, to first choice and an absolute nailed-on starter for England, which he is now, and which is why that is a very significant injury if he is not out, because he is, at the moment, in England colours, peerless. He is comfortably the number one. What would England do if all of those players were unavailable to them? Well, the team that I picked when England announced their squad was this. Well, I went with two different options. The starting 15 I feel very confident about. The question mark is, does Tom Willis start, or does Tom Willis come off the bench and maybe Ben or Tom Curry start in the 7 jersey? Ollie Chesham could also start and swap. But basically, those 21 or 22 of those 23 players, I'm very confident are going to be the team. There have been some rumours about Freddie Stewart playing on the wing and Marcus Smith at 15. I think that could happen within games. I've talked about that a lot, that I think the experiment with Marcus Smith at 15 is not done yet. And within games, that could very much change. But the biggest question mark I had was, and I think England's squad is built for a 6-2, but if you did want to go for this is a 6-2 split, but if you did want to go for a 5-3, then it's either Ford or Smith comes in and someone like Roebuck on the bench. But I mean, it's fairly, I quite like the fact that where we are, it's fairly comfortable to pick an England team. If Sam Underhill was fit, obviously that would change the dynamic. I think he'd be the starter in the 7 jersey, but without him, I've gone for Ben Earl at 7. But there's a chance Ben Earl might not even start. I think he will, possibly number 8, maybe not 7. Anyway, England have got options. But if Alex Mitchell is out and if Jamie George is out, how much does that change? Those are the two players that are up for debate. And again, to emphasise the point that I don't think it's such a big deal for England, they've got really good players that can come in. I've got no problem whatsoever with Luke Cowan-Dickie starting for England. There's an argument he should have been the starter anyway. And Jamie George on the bench. Theo Dan's had experience for England. I'm fine with that. Harry Randall from Alex Mitchell is a step down. You might think Ben Spencer or Rafi Quirk should be better there. I've gone for Ben Spencer on the bench for what it's worth. And it is a step down from Alex Mitchell. So that's the one but he's the one out of the 5 injured players that is still with the squad, and so may be available anyway. So actually, it may well be that England are not really worse off at all. Jamie George is a very good player and a very popular member of the squad, but I'm not as concerned as certainly as Scotland fans would be. So I hope that's not hubris on my part. I'm not taking Ireland in Dublin for granted in any way, shape, or form. That is a massive challenge. I think England have got a chance, and they need Alex Mitchell. So let's see how that one goes. But I'm getting excited for the Six Nations. We are 1 week, 10 days away. Love it. Right, let me know what you reckon to that. Is that madness, me even saying it could be a blessing in disguise? We'll see. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Thumbs up on the video. Help me spread the word. And hit subscribe.